Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from Major League Baseball, NHL, and UFC, and professional golf, BetOnline remains the number one source for all your sports wagering info. In between games, head over to the BetOnline's casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Are you feeling stuck in your career or lacking employment at the moment? Experiencing symptoms of job dissatisfaction? You might be suffering from a common condition known as career stagnation. But don't worry, there's a solution. Monster.com. Monster.com offers a comprehensive suite of career-boosting tools designed just for you. Our free resume review and AI interview prep tool will help you stand out from the crowd. Need more guidance? Dive into our career advice articles for expert tips and insights. And don't forget to check out our salary tools to ensure you're getting paid what you're worth. Side effects may include a new job, increased confidence, and a brighter future. Consult Monster.com today and take the first step towards your new career. Ready for your next job opportunity? Visit Monster.com now.
As fires crackle in our homes and mugs of cocoa warm our hands, people everywhere excitedly embark on the holiday season. But that's not the only season shepherded in by chilly weather. As families gather indoors, sheltering from the cold and flu germs awaken from their summer slumber. When it's raining outside, inside sneezes rain on charcuterie boards and cookie plates, infecting the sinuses of unsuspecting celebrants. It's official. Sniffle season is upon us, and waiting in the wings is one product to rule them all, a brand so popular, its name has become genericized, meaning it is used to refer to any product of its kind, regardless of the brand. And that's why this episode of On Brand is on Kleenex.
We're all jazzed up, nearly having a cow. You want your favorite show, and it's on right now. It's on Brand.
Welcome to On Brand with Jon and Marisa. I'm Jon.
I'm Marisa. Jon, do you happen to know who won Battle of the Brands from last week's episode?
You know, I do know who won the Battle of the Brands, our first Battle of the Brands, Hershey versus Mars. I don't want to reveal it too soon, but we got a lot of votes in, and it was a very exciting battle.
And not to reveal it too soon, but if you are listening to the podcast and not watching it as a video clip,
oh, right.
Jon is currently wearing a crown and a king's robe.
And holding a shiny brand new Reese's cup, which is manufactured by Hershey Chocolate Company.
So you tallied up the numbers.
I did. It was a landslide. It was a landslide. We had so many people write in. It's been such a fun week hearing from everybody. Everyone voted for their favorite for different reasons.
And I'll just say the comment section of the On Brand Instagram post about the Battle of the Brands is bumping.
It is. People get really excited, and they make multiple comments. They come back with different thoughts.
I think a couple might fall in love in the comment section of this post.
Oh my God. I would love to have an on-brand wedding.
Wow.
Can you imagine? Maybe we could get sponsors. If you're wanting to engage with someone else that you're seeing in the Instagram, and I want to push our TikTok also. I'm trying so hard to get that off its feet. We're getting like 1 or 2 new people joining every week. For TikTok, we are at On Brand the Podcast. And I think for Instagram, we're On Brand the Pod.
And while we're self-promoting, if you're enjoying the show, please, we would love your 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, as well as a positive review. Compliments only, please.
Compliments only, please. No, please, your true thoughts, as long as they're compliments. All right, so do you want to hear about the results of the Battle of the Brands?
Yes, please.
Let's go through this a little bit. So what I noticed is that people were voting for a variety of reasons. It seemed to be able to break it down into different categories. Some people were only voting because of their favorite candy. They didn't really care about the other categories. Some people were really swayed by interesting facts that I gave. Some people liked our debate skills, my debate skills. Some people were believing lies that were told by you, and that's how they voted. So let's go through. I want to go through some of the comments. I would love to go through all of them, but there's just so many, so I just wanted to highlight some. So for Team Team Hershey, we've got DeHoyt 77 and Shanks Homestead. I got reamed a little bit for the way that I pronounced their town. I was saying Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Apparently it's Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I apologize.
How dare you?
How dare me? That's a kink on my research abilities. I do really try to research things. It didn't even enter my mind that I would be pronouncing that wrong.
You're at risk of losing your Emmy for that one.
I know. I have to report this. Every time I research something wrong, I have to send a letter to the Academy. So I apologize for that. Shank Homestead said that she felt like she was in the front row of a courtroom. Hershey for the win, but I have to work on how I pronounce the name. Then I loved Chris O'Cliffe's comment. He was very thorough. He said, "This is tough. I am truly a Mars boy, and Hershey Kisses should barely even be considered chocolate." But John's argument was more compelling, especially given the brutal campaign waged by the Mars delegation. And frankly, as a brand itself, Hershey's is the far stronger branded house, whereas Mars is just a portfolio of smaller brands, plus the ET point really clinched it. Can't get better brand awareness than that, so yeah, Hershey's. Thank you.
Wow.
That was great. We have Theo Creo, who said, "Sorry, Marissa, I have to go with Hershey." We've got Jar Simpson, Hershey because of Reese's alone. There's Alan MBF. Vote for Hershey's only because John sounded like a high school debate team competitor, and Marissa sounded like a 6th grader debating a 7th grader. So I don't know if that makes me the 7th grader.
He's not wrong. I did not do well in high school. 6th grade was probably my peak educationally.
I don't know that I could debate in high school, but it is fun now. Christina Hall, she had an interesting way for picking her vote. She said it was a brutal debate. Excellent job to you both. I'm going to judge this in the most fair way possible. Hershey's went to the moon. Mars hasn't even been to Mars. So it's Hershey for the win.
Wow.
All right, now let's jump over to your side. There's not as many to read from there, so if it sounds short, it's because not many people voted for you.
Debatable.
I mean, actually not. We've already done the debate. So for Team Mars, and I will say we're starting out with a shocker. My niece
Yes.
wrote in
Wow.
and said, "Sorry, Uncle, Mars, Snickers forever." With a little smiley face. I think she put that there hoping that that would make it hurt less for me.
This is going to be a tough Christmas back at home in Cincinnati.
Yeah. This is the same niece that would love it if she got the pink Taylor Swift popcorn tin / garbage can / vomit bucket. But we'll see what happens at the holidays. And then from GP Beeb, we've got despite the news that Marissa tongues her Reese's, I'll still vote for Mars. Your comments are kind of like, well, I guess I'll do it.
I like my people. We're weird. We're freaks.
Then we've got
Our vote counts just as much as yours does.
I like this one. We've got iHolio03, hands down Mars, but I'm a big girl, so any chocolate will work. I love that. And then we've got Deep Cover Dave, who says, "I can't support pervy Hershey's toilet cans. Vote Mars." So
Wait, Deep Cover Dave, is that my husband and like an alias?
Is it?
I don't think so, but
it could. I wouldn't be surprised it is.
That's funny.
We had 2 people that voted for you simply because of the non-existent Hershey toilet cans.
Well,
whatever it takes, right?
I need an 8-part Netflix documentary undercover expose of the Hershey toilet cams.
And then, so when it all was fleshed out, it was Hershey's for the win. And then we had Steph Escajeda say she didn't like to see mom and dad fight.
That's fair.
I've never been referred to as a dad, but I thought that was kind of
You
cute.
haven't?
I mean, no, I haven't.
Daddy?
No, that's gross.
You've never been referred to as daddy?
No.
Never?
By who?
By who?
By who?
By whom?
By whom? No, I haven't. Probably my favorite comment that we got in the last week was from Angie Reese, if you can believe it. Angie Reese said when she was in kindergarten, she told everyone that her family owned the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup factory, and her mom would get Reese's Cups to hand out to keep that lie going.
I love a mom who is on board with the scheme.
I do too. Every mom just wants their child to be popular and loved in school.
Hey, I do the same thing.
Yeah, so that was great. Thank you. I'm champion for this battle. We will have another battle at some point next year. We don't know what it is yet, but it was a lot of fun.
Yes,
so.
thank you everybody for your active participation. It was great to hear from all the freaks out there.
Yeah. So I have just learned what our brand is this week. It is, I gotta say, when we do it, I don't know how you feel like when I'm reading the thing and you're finding out and you're trying to piece it together. Like when you were reading that, I was like, oh, okay, it's like Hall's cough drops or it's like NyQuil. I just find it so exciting to find out what we're doing. So I now know we're doing Kleenex. This is probably a brand that you've done that I know nothing about. I don't know if
I
there
didn't
was
either.
A small boy going around handing out sheets of paper in 1812. Someone sneezed, and I don't know how we get there, but I'm excited to learn.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely get into it. Oh, you said that you've been plowing through your paydays.
Yeah, I will.
So for the Hershey Mars battle, we each had to buy some candy. So you've been plowing through your paydays.
I'm not going to lie. I've been plowing through my paydays, and I already plowed through the Reese's. They're all gone. I did not expect to eat as much candy as I did this week. I didn't even eat one piece during the battle.
Yeah, I remember.
I just used them for display, and then I'm sitting at home all week, and those bright colors are sitting next to me, and man, I really plowed through them. Those paydays, that was a brilliant choice on my part. Like, those are a good candy bar.
I wonder if anybody got inspired to buy a payday. I wonder if, like, somewhere somebody at the payday factory saw, like, a slight spike.
What would it be other than a factory?
Well, I mean, like, who sees the numbers of payday sales? Like, instead of, like, 45 paydays being sold that in a week, it was like 46, and they were like, hey, boss, get over here, take a look at this.
Tom, we sold a bag of paydays in California. Could this be right? Listen, payday is like the candy bar that it maybe has been forgotten by time, but it feels so current because it's
Payday feels current?
Payday feels current because it is that salty sweet thing. And I know, I mean, that alone is already, 10 years old, 20
A
years
sprinkle
old.
of salt on a brownie. Revolutionary.
Those roasted salty nuts with that sweet caramel and whatever that nougat is. You'll plow through them too.
Would you love a payday that was, instead of being rolled in whole peanuts, was just rolled in connectors?
Don't say connect. Oh my God. If they made a limited edition.
Oops, all connectors?
Connector heavy payday bar, it would be like sprinkles. It's like a peanut version of sprinkles. I would die.
That's a really good idea. You can't buy separate connectors, can you?
I haven't found a wholesale place that will just sell me a bag of connectors.
They seem expensive.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that. If anyone is in the peanut business and has a connector connection.
If anybody's in any business and wants to send us anything,
I know, I'm ready for
delighted.
something free. We're episode 24. I've gotten nothing.
And we'll give our home addresses. We don't have a P.O. box. Drop it off.
Yeah, bring it to my house. I will probably answer.
Get a tour of the Cabinet of Curiosities.
Yeah.
See the soup cans on the pipe.
I'll show you my press painting collection. I'll take you to the storage room. I mean, whatever you want to see, as long as I get something free.
You're wearing a peanut shirt, by the way, talking about connectors again. That's cute.
Oh, yeah. I'm house sitting, so I'm taking advantage of having a washer and dryer. So
Nice.
I was going through some shirts I hadn't worn in a while and forgot I had bought this.
Any treasures in the mix?
I'm finding a lot of branded shirts, which are fun. I'm kind of wearing those whenever we record.
That's fun.
It just goes, on brand for us.
Any Kleenex branded shirts?
I do not have a Kleenex shirt, but I do like. That's funny that you had said the thing about whatever that term was about.
Genericize.
Yeah, I was thinking about brands that do that this week for some reason. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, like how I think it was Walkman is kind of one of those. Like
Band-Aid.
Band-Aid. I'm fascinated by brands that become the name of the category.
It's huge. Is there any better legacy than becoming genericized? I think it's like the best compliment to a brand.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably better legacies, but I mean, it's a good one.
Nothing. Like if in the future, like podcasts are just called on brands, that would be huge.
Okay, that would probably be the best legacy I left
Like, did you
behind.
just listen to the new on brand of Deepak Chopra?
Yeah. So I'm going to remove I know you can't see this, I'm removing my hot cape, my winning crown.
You're a bit of a sweaty boy. That's okay.
And I'm ready. My tits are always sweating. I'm ready to get into this brand,
All the
honey.
freaks with sweaty tits, stand up. All our fans.
I'm standing.
Sweaty tits.
I sweat a lot. It's because I'm fat.
So, Kleenex. Do you feel any way about, do you buy Kleenex? In my mind, Kleenex is for rich people.
Yeah, Kleenex is like, it's so for rich people. If they come in a variety, I do know they come in a variety of assortments. You can get it injected with lotion. You can get it and have mint in it, probably aloe vera. Mm-hmm. Like, I get my tissue from Trader Joe's because it's like $1 a box.
Yeah, and that might be a bit scratchier than what they're serving up at the old Kleenex factory.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my mind, Kleenex is one of those things, like, not like they're prohibitively expensive. I mean, what does a box of Kleenex cost? Like $3.50.
Yeah, if I was on Price is Right, I would guess a box of Kleenex, a normal box, non-lotion.
Not a collab with Isaac Mizrahi.
Not with pictures of Frozen 3.
Exactly.
Just a normal box with a flower on it would be $3.29.
Yeah, but for some reason, in my mind, and maybe it's just as a kid growing up, the family would have to be afflicted by a virus so violent and long-standing that we were like, we just need to buy Kleenex because, like, our noses are, like, ravaged with toilet paper because we just always wipe our noses with toilet paper. You know, I come from a humble stock. And that would be like, if you go to someone's house and they had Kleenex, okay, this is like the peak. A box of Kleenex in like a metal or wood or crocheted little skirt, little dress, hat, what would you call that?
Cozy?
A little cozy.
A little home.
The Kleenex box has a home. You're rich as hell.
If you're rich enough to spend money on a home for your Kleenex, you're living
something to sop up your spooge.
Yeah, you're living the dream that I dare to dream of.
Can you think of other things like that? Like, this might date it because those are things that I feel like are not ubiquitous in a house anymore. But when I was a kid and I saw a box of Kleenex, I'm like, you're rich. A trash compactor. Trash compactor meant you were rich.
A dishwasher. I mean, even a dishwasher, I think
sure.
You're rich. I've never had a dishwasher.
Did you ever have a friend's house who had an in-home speaker system?
I feel like I've only seen them when they're already outdated. Like, it was like an 80s speaker system that no longer works. You know what I consider rich? Water and ice in the refrigerator door.
I think those are pretty standard now.
To me, that's when I'll know I've made it. I'm not even kidding. I'm housing, like, I got two things right here. Listen, that's all ice from the house I'm housing.
Wow.
Every time I leave the house, I fill my water and my soda thermos up with ice. I love it.
I mean, you're easy to please.
I really am.
2 forms of water, water in 2 states, liquid and solid, and you're a happy boy.
I'm a really happy boy.
While we're on fridges, fridge that looks like a cabinet. I think that's another sign.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what to me is the ultimate? Speaking of fridges.
What?
When you have a second fridge with a clear door.
For beverages.
Only for beverages.
Wow.
Every row is a different. You've got Sprite. I don't even drink Sprite, but I know someone's going to come over that likes it. You've got something in like a cool blue bottle. Diet Coke, of course, in a normal can, not the slim can, because I know that is what I know I have made it.
The height of luxury. Honestly, I would say a separate refrigerator, full-size regular door in the garage, just for like extra stuff.
You know who I know who had an extra refrigerator in their garage?
Who?
My grandma.
And?
She kept that thing full of meats. Old meats. Like, she would pull out like a lamb shank from 1974.
Yikes.
Yeah. That is the sign
That's
of
the
luxury.
height of luxury.
Being able to eat an animal you killed 20 years ago.
Absolutely.
So is there anything better?
So elegant.
Yeah.
That's when we'll know we made it.
So what made you pick Kleenex?
Well, to me, as it is sniffle season, I was shopping for my daughter's classroom. You know, public school teachers ask for donations.
I mean, can we just pause for 1 second?
Kleenex.
Parents are now having to buy supplies for children in school. Is this a rant that's probably not for this pod, but...
Well, you know, they have soap. They have soap in the bathroom, like attached to her classroom. But she's like...
Oh, good. They have soap in her bathroom?
It's not like... So, okay, I'll ask you this. Are you like brand loyal to soap?
I went through a period where I was very brand loyal to Method. When Method hit the scene, because I liked that they were like 2 guys trying to take on...
You know the Method guys?
Of course, babe. I have a branding podcast. It didn't just happen. Yeah, the two Method Boys, and they wanted to take on Big Soap. And now it almost feels like they're part of Big Soap, but I am no longer soap loyal.
So what do you do? Mrs. Myers?
I enjoy Mrs. Myers. You know what? It's funny you say, because I was at a wealthy person's home in the past couple of days.
Oh, so jealous.
I know. I love being in a rich person's bathroom.
Oh, I am snooping.
I don't snoop. I don't open.
You're not opening?
I don't open a medicine cabinet.
You don't?
I will open.
What?
If I'm there for a moment, like if I need to be there for a minute, if you know what I mean, without me saying, if I have to poop, if I have to poop for a while, I will maybe, and I can reach it, open the cabinet under the sink.
Just to peek around?
But I will do it
to pass the time?
Yeah, but I'll do it slowly because I'm worried it's going to creak like a creaky door, and they'll hear it and they'll know what I'm doing. But just to see what's under there.
You got to time that with a cough.
Yeah, a long, slow cough. They're like, we should get him out of our home. But, you know, what made me think of that is the house I was at had a very elaborate ceramic soap dispenser on the sink that said, like, lemon, bergamot, blah, blah, blah. And it looked really fancy, but you know what it actually reminded me of?
What?
The soaps that you get at, like,
TJ
Ross
Maxx.
and TJ Maxx. And it's like $5.99. And it'll say, like, compared to soaps that are $29.99. Rich people buy cheap shit that looks nice.
You know, French on the label. We've all fallen for that before. Les poissons des Français.
Les TJ Maxx.
Les Ross. Les Nordstrom Rack.
We should add lid to all the stores. But yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So I do sometimes want to buy that, but that seems so, in my small little apartment, having a big ceramic soap dispenser seems a bit much.
It might be a bit much. Anyway, long story short, they have soap in the classroom, but it's pink. It's pink soap. It's like pink gas station soap.
Probably comes in like a bag.
Comes in a big bag.
Like it comes in a bag.
With a spigot.
Yeah.
It's rough. And so for the kids, you know, they're washing their hands a lot. She said it's kind of like drying. It's kind of, the kids have to wash their hands a million times a day. So I got Kleenex and I got like soft soap with like a, you know, a little honey.
That's nice.
Lotion.
That's nice.
Scent, something.
I still feel like it is not the job of the parents to cleanse the hands of all the children.
Certainly shouldn't be. But you know what? The school is free.
Okay. Is it though? I mean, I feel like I'm paying for it with my taxes, but
yeah.
I mean,
yeah. So thanks for nothing.
I hope your kids enjoy the school I've sent them to.
Most food reviewers detail the intricacies of bites so delicious no one could possibly afford to try them. But the Fine Dining Podcast, it's for the rest of us, baby. Join me, your host, Michael Ornelas, as I weather the caloric avalanche of every chain restaurant in America in search of which one is the most mediocre, a title they don't even realize they're vying for. Are you brave enough to hit up a Waffle House at midnight? I am. Are you willing to eat menu items with words like explosion and volcano in the name? I say bring it on. Does your Google search history include the phrase, "Am I dying if my fingers go numb and I black out while watching the corporate-mandated line dance at Texas Roadhouse?" Yeah, me neither. But the search for the perfect 5.00 dining experience out of 10 is my life's mission, and I won't stop until I find it for you. It's not fine dining, but it's fine. Check out Fine Dining, the search for the most mediocre restaurant in America, wherever you get your podcasts.
The new NBA and MLB season is in full swing, and BetOnline has you covered with the best odds and biggest promotions and live in-game betting on all your favorite teams. Head to BetOnline today to stay updated on all the action. BetOnline, the game starts here.
All right, so Kleenex, back to it.
Kleenex is top dog. You know, it's the number one, just to give the headline, it's solidly the number one facial tissue. It has over half of the facial tissue market with an estimated $1.7 billion in sales.
Wow.
It's over in over 150 countries. So this is top dog. It's owned by Kimberly Clark, which is funny. Do you know Kimberly Clark? If you're speaking of someone who spends a lot of time on the toilet, you probably recognize Kimberly Clark.
Of course I know. You don't have to keep saying it. I know Kimberly Clark from the first time you said it.
Kimberly Clark.
I have a branding podcast. You think I've never heard of Kimberly Clark?
Okay, for the listeners, next time you're on the crapper in a public restroom, look to your left, look to your right.
Pennsylvania.
You probably are going to see the words Kimberly Clark because this is a paper manufacturer and they own Kleenex. And they are like as big as it gets in the tissue paper, toilet paper world. So they own Kleenex. They're doing very well for themselves. I personally have never bought Kleenex, so I feel like the economy must be doing really well if 150 countries are pouring money into Kleenex's pocket.
Yeah, I'm surprised with their price point that they remain number one. There's so many other options. There's so many generic options for Kleenex. I did go through a period where I bought Target tissue a lot because they would come in fun. Like in the fall, it would be a plaid box, or like they came in cuter designs.
Yeah, that is fun.
Yeah, it is fun. If I'm going to have the sniffles, I want to look at something cute.
Well, you always have a rolled up wet tissue of some kind on your person at any moment.
So here's the thing. When I'm anywhere where there's like a public bathroom,
yes,
This
is like okay, I love you. It's a very short list of things I don't like about you. This is close to the top.
You are not alone. You're not alone. People hate this about me. And I love how much they hate it. So anytime I dry my hands in a restroom, usually with one of those brown burlappy paper towels.
Disgusting.
It's just wet, but it's clean. I've just washed my hands, but I usually carry that out. Okay, here's where it might get a little dirty. I do use that to open the door. That's why I always have one.
Fecal matter.
Yeah, people's fecal matter. Just a kiss of fecal matter, though. It's not covered in it.
A whisper.
And then I will usually throw that wet, disgusting rag at somebody.
Yeah.
So here's a story that I don't think you know. So I worked at this company for years that made a show called Biography. And we had a bathroom that had these brown paper towels every day. When I'd go to the bathroom, I would dry my hands and leave the bathroom with this wet paper towel and get in the elevator to leave. So the elevator had this grate on the ceiling. And around the edge, there was a 1.5 inch hole, like opening.
Yes.
Every day before I would get to the garage level, I had to bounce that rag off the wall into that 1 inch hole and onto the grate above.
That's a fun game.
I agree. For me. It was a very fun game. This went on 4 months. There was probably 200 dry paper towels up here. No one ever noticed it. No one ever mentioned anything until one day we get an email from the second in charge of the company saying, whoever is throwing the paper towels into the grate of the elevator, if you do not stop, you will be terminated. You will be fired.
Wow.
And my heart started to race, both with fear but excitement that I had done this.
Oh, you love that.
I don't know. It was very fun that I had done this.
Can you imagine getting fired for that? And at your next job, they're like, so why'd you leave Biography? And you're like, well, so I like to do this thing. You know the brown paper towels in bathrooms?
Just go through the whole story.
Sir.
Here, let me show you. Do you guys have an elevator? No, it was a very proud moment.
You know what's not fun is getting hit in the face with a wet brown paper towel by your best friend.
Or they don't even realize that it's wet and I just throw it at them and they go to catch it instinctively and then they've got this soggy towel.
It's disgusting.
It's great. All right, so I feel like we're getting off the rails a little bit, and I am dying to know how Kleenex came to be. Tell me there was a young boy who dropped out of school that went around a neighborhood and did something, passed something out.
Passed out little rags
his
to his
old
neighbors.
Grandma couldn't walk, and she had the sniffles, and he's like, I have an idea.
You know, the history, it strays from that typical pattern where it's an old boy with a wheelbarrow. So as I mentioned, Kimberly Clark, so they already existed. They've been around since 1872. It's John Kimberly, Charles Clark, blah, 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 in Wisconsin.
They were the originators, or they acquired it later?
They were the originators.
Oh.
Yeah, the originators. So they were kind of in the paper game.
Got it.
Which, by the way, paper is wood?
Yeah.
Like, tissues are wood?
Where have you been? What do you think things... you didn't know paper came from trees?
No, I know paper came from trees. I mean, tissues are like wood.
Yeah.
Do you think of tissues as wood?
Well, no.
Well, no, exactly.
I don't think of water as ice or ice as water. But they're it's a different form of the thing.
Well, then this may not surprise you, but
I'll
tissues are wood.
Let's try it.
Did you know tissues are wood?
What?
So 1914, World War I. If I had asked you when World War I is, would you have been able to say 1914?
I'm a little fuzzier in World War I than World War II.
Everybody is.
I would say 1914.
1914, yes.
Okay, good.
That was when there was a cotton scarcity. So Kimberly Clark created a thin flat cotton replacement that the Army used as a filter in gas masks. So they made it kind of out of crepe paper.
Okay.
It's kind of like folded, micro-folded, they said, in order to break down its rigidity, increase its volume. It was named Cellucotton. Cellulose, which I guess from paper, and cotton to be like, I guess, what it's emulating.
But it also, on a branding point, it also is subliminally saying sell you cotton. Like,
Oh, wow.
You're going to buy this cotton.
You're hired.
I have a branding podcast, so I think about these things.
So they had all this leftover Cellucotton because they were using them as these gas mask filters. It became bandages. Nurses were using them to like dress wounds like during the war because they just produced so much of it like for the war effort. And then in 1920, they had all this leftover Cellucotton. Somebody had the idea to use it to make a maxi pad. Heard of Kotex? Co being cotton, tex being texture, cotton-like texture. Okay, hear me out. Keep following. So they had the surplus of Cellucotton. They're like, what else can we use? Okay, we already did gas mask filters. We were dressing wounds with them. Sure, make a maxi pad out of it. What else can we do with all this Cellucotton? They modified the crepe paper to make it thinner and softer, and they made a tissue that they started to call Kleenex, clean for clean, and X to be like connected to Kotex. So it's all like part of the same branding umbrella.
Okay.
And this was 1924. The product was marketed as a cold cream remover. So this is like, ladies, they have their Max Factor pancake makeup. They're dipping it in some cold cream, wiping it off. That was like their huge marketing push. It was sold basically exclusively as a tissue to remove cold cream.
Wow. And that was a big thing at that time, right? I feel like
Yeah.
in old movies, women were always slathering their face with like that white cream.
You ever use cold cream?
I don't. I do very little skin maintenance. I wash my face.
I see you with a face of cold cream and a couple cucumbers on your eyes.
I'm not that guy. That feels like a hate crime. I'm not him. I won't be him. Maybe someday I'll be him, but I'm not.
In a silk robe.
I will occasionally do a mask, just because like a mask that's clear, that dries, and it just makes you feel really tight, and then peeling that off, it's more just because I think it's fun.
Yeah, that's kind of similar to like the Elmer's glue on your hand, peeling that off. Did you like to do that as a kid? Elmer's glue?
And I would eat it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What?
I ate glue as a kid. Elmer's glue. I enjoyed it. I'm not even embarrassed by it. I would prep it. So like I would put little glue dots on my desk and so that the next day they'd be dry and I could eat them.
I think your endorsement of payday is losing credibility. Your taste.
And that's why this on brand is on Elmer's. No, I mean, I'm not the only person that ate glue. I know it.
I understand eating glue because like kids like do weird kind of little acts of rebellion, but to say you liked the taste. Now as an adult standing by liking the taste. I don't know about that. So 1925, the Kleenex tissue is used in magazines showing the secret of keeping pretty skin as used by famous movie stars. So this is the first marketing of the disposable paper-based facial tissue. And then in 1926, Kimberly Clark got intrigued by the number of letters from customers saying that they were using the products as a disposable handkerchief.
Okay, so it came about accidentally.
Yes,
almost.
completely organically. So they didn't even really believe that was like a big demand for the product. They were kind of thinking exclusively as cold cream removal.
What were people using up until this point? I mean, it's not like people started getting runny noses in the mid-20s. Like, what were people doing?
Handkerchiefs.
Oh, just cloth handkerchiefs.
Yeah, handkerchiefs. So it was advertised as the handkerchief you can throw away. But the people who worked at the company were skeptical that this would be like a worthwhile marketing shift. So they conducted a test in a newspaper. Also, I love the idea of people writing to a company to say like, I'm using your product as a handkerchief. That feels very us.
Well, I love that because I would do that now, as everybody knows, and you just sit down and shoot an email. I like that these people had to sit down at their writing desk with like a dipped pen.
Absolutely.
To write this company and say, hey.
Those are brand freaks of another day. I love that.
I wonder if any of them are still with us. That would be great to find a 100-year-old brand freak.
So they ran an ad in the newspapers depicting the two main uses of Kleenex, either as to remove cold cream or as a disposable handkerchief. The readers were asked to respond. This was like they did a battle of the brands. They're like, what do you pick? Do you use it for cold cream or blowing your nose? 60% used Kleenex tissue for blowing their noses. And by 1930, Kimberly Clark had changed the way they advertised Kleenex and sales doubled, proving that the customer is always right.
Wow, that is a really fascinating story.
Is that fun? And it was
Yes.
marketed with the slogan, "Don't carry a cold in your pocket." Because at that point, like you said, handkerchiefs were kind of the normal thing, which I think is a bit yucky.
Yeah, I mean, if you're grossed out by a damp paper towel from clean hands, I would think a snot rag that you carry in your shirt pocket is gross to you.
Yeah, you don't want to be hit in the face by one of those.
I've always thought handkerchiefs were gross. I think my dad might have used a handkerchief when we were very young. And like if you get something on your face and they use it to like wipe it off, you're like, you're using like your booger rag to like clean me.
Didn't our producer Al, you have a memory about a handkerchief, right? Didn't you say you remember the way your dad's handkerchief smells?
Oh, yeah.
I
Oh,
think I heard
God.
you
What
say
did it
that
smell like? And we love your dad, by the way.
We love him,
But
yeah. That's such a funny kid memory. If you remember the way your dad's handkerchief smelled, leave us a comment on Instagram.
Please describe it in 5 words or less.
So in 1928, which is a few years before the big marketing push, the pop-up tissue carton with the perforated opening was introduced. So that's the tissue box we know today. So that was a guy in Chicago invented that. That kind of coincided with the big marketing shift on Kleenex. And I mean, the rest is history.
I wonder are they the ones that created the idea of having something to cover it with? Or were they making boxes that were decorative and then you put out? Were they fancier than boxes of today? Or were people like, oh, I have Kleenex in my home. I must find some way to hide it from public view.
You know, in 1929, they were doing colored Kleenex tissue and they were doing printed tissue. So I think it was, I don't want to say like a status symbol, but there must have been some kind of prestige to having Kleenex as opposed to like a ratty old hanky.
It was the opposite then.
Yeah. So after the war ended, supplies of paper products returned to normal. 1941, Kleenex is still pumping. So they have Kleenex man-sized tissues. They're trying to like...
What?
Push the product to men. There's a very funny ad advertising Kleenex man size. I'll post that on Instagram. And then in 1949, they were coming out with a tissue that was just for eyeglasses. I mean, they're really, it's so reminiscent of like today, how you just like find a market and then you try to like capitalize as much as you can.
Yeah, how many different ways can you use it? I mean, it seems like they're not making different products for the eyeglasses. They're just marketing what they already have for them.
It might be like slightly softer or a different size. 1952 cum rag edition.
Jesus Christ. How did we get there? I would be interested in, well, that's
That's behind the paywall. During the 1950s, are you ready for a boring brand fact? In 1954, the tissue was the official sponsor on the popular television show, The Perry Como Hour. There you have it. The official sponsor.
I don't think of tissues as being a television sponsor.
Yeah,
I feel like
I
back
don't
then it
either.
was always like cigarettes or maybe alcohol. I don't remember, but definitely cigarettes.
Yeah, they did a lot of advertising in the 60s. They were on daytime programming. Space Saver tissue packs introduced, as well as purse packs, juniors, upright tissue box, boutique. It feels like there were, gosh, eBay must be deep with vintage Kleenex boxes.
I didn't know. I got to be honest. I had no idea that Kleenex went through like this big moment in time. I think by the time I entered Earth, it was
That's
just
what you call being born entering Earth.
by the time I slid into Earth, like Kleenex was just a very benign product.
Yeah, it must have like shaken society to its core.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
What a boring time when like
People were meeting like for dinner after not seeing each other for weeks or whatever, and they were like, "Have you gotten Kleenex yet?"
you're not going to
No, I'm dying to. What's it like?
You're not going to believe what Kleenex has done now.
As I mentioned, they're selling now in 150 different countries. They lotion, ultra soft, antiviral with like a special like antiviral coating with aloe.
Did the antiviral come out in response to COVID, or has that been around for a while?
That was pre-COVID, but I'm sure it had a boom. In 2020, 170 million Americans reported using Kleenex brand tissues.
Reported to who?
Did you get a call asking you if you use them?
I need a report. I've been using Kleenex. I just need someone to know that.
That's how I feel about every statistic. I'm like, nobody asked me.
Yeah, nobody's ever asked me. I've always thought about that about Nielsen TV ratings too, but then I did learn that you actually become a Nielsen home.
Some people get those. Yeah.
machine.
Well, and you and I have done market research before.
I joined a market research thing where I was supposed to get paid, but then like They sent me a machine. Like this,
What?
they sent a machine to my home, and I was supposed to
You can't just say machine. Like, what kind of machine?
Well, I didn't keep it long enough to tell, but once I learned, so I signed up for this thing. A couple weeks later, I get this machine in the mail with instructions, and from that point on, anytime I went shopping, I was supposed to bring my items home and scan the barcodes on them that would get uploaded to this company and blah blah blah. And
Wow.
I was instantly out, and I returned the machine.
But that's kind of spooky. I'm imagining something the size of like a paper shredder.
I would say it's more the size of your child's cash register.
Okay, toy cash register
Toy
from IKEA.
cash register from IKEA.
That's pretty reasonable. Well, and you're scanning something, so talk about a cash register. Boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop.
Yeah, it was very similar to that. But no, I just felt all of a sudden it was like way too much work. If I'm going to do something like that, I want it to be, I really just want things to be easy. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a tired man.
It doesn't mean I'm tired. I just want things to be easy.
Yeah,
I'll
we all
work
do.
hard.
So Kleenex, as I mentioned, it is genericized. So any brand of facial tissue is commonly referred to as Kleenex. So if there is a strong enough case in the courtroom that Kleenex is so ubiquitous that it is synonymous with facial tissue, they could legally make it so that any company would be able to use Kleenex on their packaging and Kleenex would lose their trademark. So this is something that has happened in the past.
I feel like that's like stealing a company's identity, though.
Well, tell that to the people who owned the trademark on trampoline.
Anyone can. Trampoline was a brand name.
Trampoline was a brand. The generic term was actually Rebound Tumbler. It's unclear when it lost its trademark, but anyone can now sell a trampoline.
Okay, that I did not know.
How about Thermos?
Thermos. That's still a brand name, isn't it? That's a company.
Well, anybody can call their insulated tumbler a thermos.
Wow. I did not realize that. That feels shady, but interesting.
The makers of Yo-Yo?
No.
Yo-Yo was trademarked in the U.S. in 1932 by entrepreneur Donald F. Duncan. We all know Duncan Yo-Yos.
Oh, I immediately thought Dunkin' Donuts. I think I'm just hungry.
Duncan is a popular yo-yo brand, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so his company lost a case brought by a competitor in 1965 when a federal appeals court ruled that the trademark was improperly registered, therefore invalid. So now anybody can call their little circle on a string a yo-yo.
Wow. What a world we live in where you can just do that. Good. I don't know if that's good for them or I don't know. I feel very conflicted right now. But I like that I learned something.
Yeah, we always like to leave our listeners a little something to talk about around the punch bowl.
I have a little fact for you that I looked up that is facial tissue related, but maybe not Kleenex.
I love it.
February 3rd of 2023, this year, the Guinness Book of World Records for pulling out the most facial tissues out of a box in 1 minute happened. What do you think that number was?
1 minute? Okay, let's
1
see.
minute.
So 60 seconds in a minute.
So it's like this.
Standard American minute.
But you know, if you're watching, it's like this. Like they can always, like you think you're doing it fast, but then they're like this. Here, I can do it for a minute if you want to count.
80?
Very wrong.
100?
Wrong. Now combine those two
180?
and add 9.
189?
189 facial
Wow.
tissues. And get this. The guy who did it, Alan Daigle.
Died? Right after? So happy he croaked? Dreams finally realized?
That's dark. No, he didn't die. But he said the reason he did this was just so he could say he was the best at something.
Oh, boy.
But have you had...
I hope he's okay. Did somebody call him? Wellness check?
If anyone's friends with Alan Daigle of Mount Bellevue, Texas, we'd like to do, what are those called? A welfare check on him and make sure that he's okay.
Oh, he sounds great.
I'm not going to lie. It feels like someone could beat... I don't feel like that record, like that could be beat.
I feel like I need to try tonight.
Don't you think that? Have you ever gone through the book, the Guinness Book of World Records, and looked for the easiest things you feel like you could beat?
Yeah, what do you think you could do?
This.
Really?
I do. Maybe, actually, I don't know. That's really fast. And I feel like you might have to have a special box, because I didn't think there was that many tissues in a box, but I don't know. You would know. You're the expert.
You would need a special bottomless box.
You need a bottomless box.
Yeah, customize it. Maybe he knew somebody who could make a bottomless box that kind of gave him an advantage.
You think that Alan, who just wanted to be known for anything, had a friend that created bottomless boxes of tissues?
I mean, is it in the article? I don't know.
I hope it's not even an article. This is a 2-sentence fact on GuinnessBookOfWorldRecords.com.
I loved looking at the Guinness Book of World Records book as a kid, just fantasizing. You'd see the lady with the big fingernails.
I hate anyone that I don't want to say I hate them. That's mean. This is their life's work. But
they just want to be known for something, John.
I'm repulsed by anyone that grows their nail. Their hands are always deformed. They can no longer do anything. I'm constantly wanting to know how they wipe. Like, do they have like people helping them do the most basic things?
If they start to curl, they're too long.
Yeah, they're too long.
I agree.
But I like when you look at the Guinness Book of World Records now, and there's so like just random things that are so specific, you wouldn't even know why that would be attempted.
I know. It'd be like piled the most spaghetti on his head. It's like, I'll try it. I'm sure I could. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People are just looking for the most random thing to possibly get in there that just hasn't been done yet.
That might be because maybe we all have a little bit of Alan in us.
I think we all just want to be known for something.
Something.
Is that why we started the podcast?
Well, I started the podcast because I know a lot about brands. But yeah, we just want to be the best at something. I think everyone can relate to that. Well, is that what you have on Kleenex?
That's everything on Kleenex. If anybody has any thoughts on Kleenex, again, head over to Instagram. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Are you rich? Do you use Kleenex, or do you use paper towels or toilet paper like me?
Well, I am sure that Instagram will be a buzz this week with everyone lurching to their phones and computers to tell us their thoughts on facial tissues.
Potentially meeting a soulmate. I don't know.
Maybe meeting a soulmate, telling us what your grandfather's cloth handkerchief smelled like. We've asked a lot of you today.
Do you have a brand news for us? Or a brand rant, perhaps?
I actually am coming with both today.
Yay, this is like Christmas has come early.
Yeah, so let's do that. First, let's do our brand news. So Marissa and Alistair and I are gamers. Mm-hmm. A lot of our early friendship was playing games. We've played every game under the sun. We love playing games. One of the games that we've played is Pictionary. Well, Pictionary has moved on to a new level. They have come out with Pictionary AI.
Oh, no.
I know, right? I was like, what? Like, I'm still at the point where I don't even really know what AI is, and it's already trickled all the way down to home games.
That feels like it's on its way out the door, and I say good riddance.
I say goodbye. Although there is some AI stuff I think is cool. When I see people that take like album covers or photographs and can auto-generate to make them bigger, I think that's neat. But let's focus on Pictionary AI. Mm-hmm. So you are now with your friends competing against the game. So I will be given a thing to draw. Mm-hmm. I draw it. I show it to the game, and the game tries to guess what I've drawn.
Show it to the game?
Show it to the game. You're wondering how? Through your smartphone.
Oh, God.
Through an app. That's probably like a really basic. I don't want to judge it. I'm hoping that someone's played this and can chime in and let us know.
Honey, I'll judge it. Get it the hell out of here.
Yeah, we should get it and play it. I want to go up against the game.
To me, the spirit of game night is putting your computers and your whatchamajigs aside, your Samsung Galaxies, and spending a little face-to-face time with your kin.
To me, game night is about the future and drawing and holding that drawing up to my phone to see what my phone thinks of it.
Depressing.
That's why I love Pictionary AI. You're going to find out that I'm now sponsored by companies that you don't know. They're only paying me. No, but that's my brand news. Do with it what you will. I also have a brand rant. I don't know if I'm the only one this happens to, but it drives me freaking crazy. Have you noticed that Amazon, you know how Amazon now has delivery trucks?
Yes.
Their own delivery trucks?
Yes.
I feel like they have been trained that they can stop their truck anywhere. It doesn't matter. I don't know if you're from here. I was just on Los Feliz Boulevard. The Amazon truck just stopped. It's a very busy road.
In the middle of the street?
Yeah, I was like behind 3 cars. I'm like, oh, I wonder what's going on. I just see the Amazon guy just hop out of his truck, he's walking across the yard with a package to take it to somebody. It's
Not
like,
a care in the world.
it's like literally stopping your truck on the freeway.
Yeah.
And it happens all the time, specifically with those trucks. I want to know what's going on. That's my rant.
Odds are maybe somebody listening works at Amazon. Maybe they can clue us in.
Yeah, if you have any knowledge, I would love to know.
An Amazon driver left a dolly on my porch, and it's a really nice dolly.
And you kept it?
It's mine now.
Really?
Yeah.
I do like a nice dolly. I don't even know why, but it is good to have one. I say they can afford another dolly.
They can afford it. It's mine now.
What's his name? What's that guy's name?
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos. He can buy them another dolly. That's great. I'm happy for you. That balances out their shitty parking.
Yeah, we should steal from the trucks.
No, there is a fine line with what I'll do. But if they leave it, fair game.
Fair game.
Wait, what did you get that you needed a dolly for?
I actually don't even remember, but it was just left on my porch. Must have been in a hurry to get back to his car that was parked illegally in the middle of the road.
Or in your neighbor's yard. He's like, this seems like the best place. So those are my rants. That's our new news. That's Kleenex. That's another show.
That's the Battle of the Brands.
How do you feel?
Update.
Do you feel okay losing? Like, you lost.
I will persevere.
Do you feel like you will come into the next battle like wanting to fight harder?
I think just because you are an Emmy Award winning researcher.
Mar, I don't want the people to know that.
Mm-hmm. Emmy Award winning researcher. Vape, now streaming on Netflix. John's newest documentary project. I know that I am outmatched a bit.
No.
I'm Little Mac and you're Mike Tyson. Is that his name in Punch-Out? Little Mac? I'm Little Mac.
All right.
So it is a bit of a David and Goliath story. We'll see. We'll see what happens next time.
I guess it depends on what the brand is.
Thank you always to our brand freaks for listening. And as we mentioned at the top, please subscribe, rate, and review. Please give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It really makes us so happy. If you have a suggestion for a brand you would like us to talk about, you can write us a message on Apple Podcasts or check out our Instagram at OnBrandThePod and leave us a note there. We love to hear from you guys. And we'll be back next week with an all new episode of On Brand.
Bye.
See ya.
On brand.